may have visitors tonight.
There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders.
It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder.
You remember the fun we had when you poisoned me?
Soothing, isn't it?
Well, you realize, of course, that we'd have to have a body to put in that casket.
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
This is a spooky edition of the Argo City podcast with Maddie.
She's so amusing.
And Matthew.
Imbecile, bombastic ignoramus.
And we have returned!
So we're still in spooky season, and this year, spooky season means zombie movies.
Yeah!
And last week we did a little something. We did Train to Busan, and that's a very modern one. It's a nice way to ease our way into it, especially since it was still part of Maddie's movie box.
Yes, I've been wanting to watch that for a while. I'm glad we finally got to it.
But this week we're doing it proper, and we're starting at the very beginning. We are starting with Night of the Living Dead.
And this is one of those classic zombie movies. If you are anywhere in the horror fandom, if you are anywhere around zombies, if you haven't seen it, you will at least have heard of it.
So actually, and to be fair, you have seen this before, but you were a child. You were much littler. And we'd watched it on TV. I'd even taken you actually to, there was a screening as part of a zombie walk one year where we're like in the basement of a bowling alley. They've got a sheet up and a projector going.
Yeah.
And so you've seen it, but you haven't seen it as an adult. And that's a very different perspective.
And to be fair, I didn't recognize a thing of this, so...
Yeah, it's been long enough that you're not going to remember a lot. So this was a good time, and this was a good thing to start with, to really, because I mean, this is where the modern zombie begins. This is where what we think of as zombies starts. There's nothing like this before.
As you liked to remind me every 20 minutes.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's important.
No, yeah,
because
I agree.
the idea, 1968 is not that long ago. 1968 is, it's within my parents' lifetime. That's right around the time during their anniversary even, I think. We watched a couple of trailers as well that showed what zombie movies were before this. I mean, it's all...
like a lot of like hypnotism or like voodoo and things like that. And
this idea of coming back from the dead.
Yeah.
And eating people, that's new in 1968. George Romero created that. George Romero started that. And so it's just one of those important things to kind of think of because we take it for granted.
Yeah.
We take all the zombie rules for granted. And by the way, because this is the first time out, the zombie rules are not firm. Anything goes still.
Yeah, there's a lot of differences and a lot of things I noticed throughout watching this.
So, you can't count on what you think you know.
Yeah, for me personally, one of the rules that I've always latched onto is sound. Sound, 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 sound. If you are out of sight and out of hearing range, you're golden. Mm-hmm. But these zombies don't react to sound. They react almost purely on sight and fire for some reason.
Well, they don't like fire.
They don't like light.
That's actually the whole, fire bad. I mean, this is a primal idea straight from Frankenstein.
Yes, but I want to expand on that more, and I am saying, the zombies don't like light. I mean, they literally smashed out the car lights, which could just be them trying to stop them from leaving. But in case that it isn't, they're destroying any sort of light source that they come across.
They're just spreading destruction, so I don't know.
Yes, but that
I don't know that you're wrong about that. I'm not saying...
Yeah,
not saying you're wrong about that.
Just hitting that headlight felt very intentional to me. I don't know why. It just felt very intentional.
There's a few things that are kind of intentional here, too. There's a certain amount of using tools. using bricks to break
true.
windows.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more intellect than we're used to.
Yeah, we are seeing them trying to, especially at the beginning when our female protagonist, she jumps into a car in an attempt to escape the zombie that just killed her brother.
Mm-hmm.
And he is pulling on the door handle. He's taking a step back, banging on the window, pulling on the door handle again. He's going between those three actions over and over again.
Yes. So that's, it's an interesting performance too.
Yeah.
Which, considering this is one of the cameramen, this is Bill Heinzman, and I love Bill. He would actually show up at conventions, and he would do the makeup.
That's wonderful.
Like, he would show up, and maybe not all 3 days, but he'd do the makeup for one of those days, and be in the torn suit. He would sign as Zombie Number 1 because that's exactly what he is. He is the first zombie. He is the first thing.
That's got to be some sort of Medal of Honor. But and I'm going to go on a bit of a mini rant here, but do you want to know the thing that I loved the most about this movie?
Go ahead.
It is the fact that we have continuous radio and TV announcements going throughout the entire thing.
Oh,
yeah. When it comes to zombie movies, a lot of times you get one or two things and then you're cut off. Or you get something in the beginning and it's months before you hear anything else. But we are getting constantly updated throughout this. We are seeing people band together to strike down the zombies like you would like any military would. That is so different from how the media portrays it these days. And I love that.
Well, and I think there's a reason for that too. Because first and foremost, it's only one day. It's only one night.
Yeah.
The movie is night of the it's not nights. It's night. It is one evening. It is one night from sundown to sunup. But also, they're making this with no money. So
really?
I mean, this is George Romero's first film.
That's right, yeah.
I mean, a lot of these guys, Romero and a lot of the people working with him, they'd been in TV. They'd been working behind the scenes, engineers, running cameras. Literally, George Romero helped run camera and worked on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
That's wonderful. I love that. That is wonderful.
So this is him taking a shot. This is, let's make a proper movie. Let's take all these skills and try and do this. But like I said, they've got no money. So the best way to try and make it sound global is the constant news reports. Did you notice there's a lot of time in here where they're describing what's happening?
That's true, because we're not exactly moving locations enough to know where. I mean, this movie takes place in essentially one house the entire time.
Yeah.
So
Ben shows up and he describes what happens. He described getting the truck at the diner and how the diner got mobbed, and then suddenly there's silence. The Coopers described how their car got turned over and they ran for it with their child and something grabbed her. So there's a lot of that. Even all those news reports, they spend time describing what's happening.
Yeah.
It's a lot of tell, not show, which is the opposite of what you usually do in a movie, but they don't have the budget to show a worldwide uprising.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, we get those scenes on the TV, but even then, looking back, it's local, and we don't get as many zombies as we do regular people. So
no, we don't.
And I keep saying, I absolutely love that, because we're seeing what's going on in the outside world. These people, they're giving us tips and tricks on how to kill these zombies, and we're being updated. And I'm gonna end up repeating myself over and over again because of how much I adore that. Because it's so rare to see that.
And it's that first one. It's that first movie. In fact, you could almost say it's the first time zombies rose up. So maybe they were able to catch it early. They were able to catch it in the night.
Yeah.
Because by the time Dawn of the Dead comes around, and we watched Dawn of the Dead a while back, that's the one in the mall, we get some of those news reports at the very beginning. And then the news reports stop, just like you said.
Okay, so the other thing that I really did like about the whole TV broadcast, can we just mention how much I love that they are protecting the people who are giving us the news? That, like, they're usually, I cannot tell you the amount of times I was literally expecting, and this is an,
No, because I think that would have been comedic. And we get zombie movies that are a little bit sillier and a little bit funnier down the line, but this thing is dead as the grave. It is dead serious. In fact, one of the reasons I chose this particular version, we watched a black and white version as opposed to a colorized version.
Yeah.
I specifically chose the black and white over the color. Might have been easier for you. If you were younger, I also might have gone, but the thing is, the black and white heightens the drama. It heightens the tension.
Yeah, and especially it heightens the beauty of the light and everything in that.
Because they really do go out of their way.
Yeah.
To compose some really stark and frightening scenes.
Yeah, and it's like when you're sitting in black and white, your eyes aren't drawn to the colorful things. They're instead focused on, oh crap, we're trapped. Oh crap, the zombies are getting in. Oh goodness, we just got shot.
And I mean, color film was available at this time. But again, we're working on no budget. Black and white film is cheaper.
Yeah.
So, and really that's what Romero was trying to do. He's trying to make a cheap horror movie for the cheap theaters, for like the drive-in theaters that had to rotate
fun.
every week or two. Movies were so different back in the 60s, 70s, even 80s.
We should go to another drive-in movie.
He was aiming for that, though. He was aiming for, those really out there. And you didn't have to have as much money. He could be a B film. He could be the second feature on the bill.
Yeah.
So that's what he was trying to do. Now, at the very last minute, he changed the name of the movie.
What was it originally supposed to be called?
I want to say it was something like The Flesh Eaters or something like that.
That's much more boring.
It is.
Something about Day of the Dead sounds so much more
none
dramatic.
None of it was The Dead or anything like that. I don't remember off the top of my head, but that's where we run into a problem.
Uh-oh.
One of the things you asked me was this successful in first run?
Yeah.
And first, it's harder to tell because of, like, this would have been one of those things where we're trying to sell it to the theaters on the margin anyhow. But because he changed the name at the last minute, it didn't get registered properly.
No!
So, on release, literally on release, it fell straight into the public domain.
Oh, no, that's terrible!
It's really awful. It is horrible to think that he didn't make any money off of this movie.
That's just I'm like frozen. Like that's horrible.
It's the absolute worst case scenario. Now, the thing he did get was credibility.
That's true.
He got, okay, this is my reel. I can make a movie and I can make it successful. But that's also, see, it's an argument, and it's one of those things where it's been argued for years. Why was this successful? Now, it's a quality film. There's depths going on and on and on here. There's a lot. But also, because it was in the public domain, any drive-in could show it for free and charge what they wanted. So they could throw this at their B movie. Or they could make this into their midnight movie, their special, okay, let's do an event. And every theater would just do that. This thing showed week in and week out, every weekend for years.
I mean, that's definitely one way to get your name tossed around a ton.
This thing was it was so frequently shown, everybody saw it. So the argument is it possible that it created a genre because it was so accessible? Because it was always around, always out there?
Yeah, I wonder if it's like, is it good because it was good, or is it good because it was there? Like,
yeah, and that's a little bit of what they're talking about too. Where is it? It's also undeniable that it is good.
I am definitely with you there. This movie cycles very well through the whole thing of high stakes, running away from zombies, trying to get through, and then just casual like conversation between groups of people. Like,
talking about the tragedy though that Romero didn't make any money off of this.
Yeah, that's like,
so.
Why?
Here's the thing. In 1990, so about 22 years later, they decided maybe we could try and remake it.
Oh, no.
And here, let's do the trailer. So that's the trailer. These are not bad actors. That's Candyman playing Ben.
Really?
Yeah, that's Tony Todd. Patricia Tallman is playing Barbara. But I mean, it
looks very different. It doesn't. I don't know. The zombies look more realistic, but
they look more like zombies
yeah.
because it's 1990 now. We know what zombies are supposed to look like instead of we're not inventing them. But
yeah, but
the tension's just not there.
No, it's really not. I guess that black and white, like we were talking about earlier, definitely pulls in the stakes.
I mean, this should work at least on paper. It works. Yeah. You've got a really good cast. You've got a good director. It's Tom Savini who's directing it. Savini did all the makeup effects for Dawn of the Dead, for Day of the Dead. The man is a legend, and he's a genuinely good director. In fact, he was actually supposed to be up for he's also a good actor. He was supposed to be up to the role of Zorro in Mask of Zorro, and Antonio Banderas and suddenly swooped in and took it away.
Oh.
But it should work, and it doesn't. It just doesn't quite work. Tony Todd is up to the task. The kids look a little bit too, I don't know, rednecky.
Yeah, they look a bit too hillbilly. And
Barbara, in this, she breaks out of the catatonia. She stops being, and suddenly turns into Sarah Connor. She turns into a gun-toting action hero fighting right alongside.
But that's not how that works.
And it's not who Barbara was. It throws the whole dynamic off. Yeah. It's not that I'm saying I like her better as a victim. I'm saying that it just...
You can't change a classic character.
Yeah. You just can't. There's a reason why I need Superman to wear the red shorts. I just need it. There's a reason why I need her huddling in shock in this light catatonic state. It just doesn't work. And you know what? That might even speak to the question then we were talking about. Does this work because it was on constantly? Or does it work
because it was actually good?
Because 1968 was actually good.
Yeah, I also don't think we would have gotten enough reruns or even enough of that movie being played enough for that particular generation for it to be, oh, this is the original. No, it's not. You can't really do that with a classic movie.
Yeah, I don't think you can. Not with something as fundamental, as something as iconic as this. Something with all these lines that we can quote. When the sheriff comes up, it's literally in our bumper music. They're dead. They're all messed up. Everybody has heard that. Yeah. Everybody has heard the news reports. The recently deceased have come back to life and are committing acts of... There's so much here that is so quotable and so recognizable, even if you don't know where it came from.
Yeah, and that's the big issue with, like, especially nowadays with companies like Disney or such, just trying to make sequels and trying to make remakes rather than bringing any new material in.
And I mean,
if they had given us something set in the same universe, heck, do it next door. Have us tell us the story of what happened in the house about a mile away.
Oh,
Like, imagine
yeah.
we're seeing maybe we're seeing some of the same zombies. Maybe we're seeing the same news reports. But tell us a different story.
You know what? The novelizations actually do that.
Oh, yeah?
There is a novelization of Night of the Living Dead and of the proposed sequel. And the proposed sequel really is, like, just down the street. It's the same sheriff. It's the same, a lot of the same characters.
Yeah.
They're trying to bring that in. The novelization, though, also, man, you know what? We've broken your heart enough with this episode, but,
Oh, no.
well, we get more background. We hear a little bit more about Ben.
Okay.
Because where was he going?
They were going to the graveyard.
No, Ben.
Oh, no, not Ben.
Yeah.
He was...
We never hear.
That's right. We don't know where he was going.
Ben, in the novel explains Ben's a widower.
Oh.
And he was heading home to his 2 boys.
Oh. Oh, no. Why'd you break my heart like that? No!
I gotta ask this question. I really want to know. And the next time that I see the writer, I might actually ask him this.
Please do.
What happened to the 2 boys? What happened to Ben's sons?
Dude. Oh. I kind of hate that.
This is the peril of reading the novelization. And I'm obsessed with movie novelizations. But yeah, this is the peril. It's so much worse.
You just really enjoy ripping my emotions to shreds these days, don't you?
I told you, like, all right, so put on your psychology cap, put on your sociology cap with this.
It's been 3 years. I don't have much of one anymore. But no, I will say I always do tend to find myself enjoying watching the stakes between the characters. And to be honest, we got some of that, but most of it revolved around our black guy, our nonverbal girl, and the crazy guy in the cellar.
And Bald Cooper. Yeah. So and especially between Ben and Cooper, there's a real antagonism between Cooper from the cellar and between Ben upstairs, and how they think they should approach this. How do we survive the night? How do we get through this? Because Cooper is adamant. We should just hide out in the cellar, even if you hear people upstairs rummaging around. You know, I don't know if those are zombies.
Yeah.
And Ben doesn't like that. Cooper's like, should we risk our lives for
just
in
case
there's somebody else?
Screams.
And Ben's like, yeah, something like that. And, well, I mean, he can talk, because that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, what would you have done in that situation?
That's the real question. Actually, I've got a better question for you here, too.
Oh?
Who was right? Yeah, it happened again. We went way long on this, but I can't think of a lot of movies that deserve it more than Night of the Living Dead. So, we're going to pause the conversation right here and let you guys ponder that question for a couple of days. We'll be back in the middle of the week with an Argo City extra and finish up Night of the Living Dead.